Hi everybody, thanks for joining Create with Dee. Today I have a cute and really pretty 3x3 note card holder that's also a little mini stationery set because it holds up to 4 3x3 note cards with envelopes, as well as a covered Post-it pad and a designer paper lined RSVP pin. Let's get started making this cute little stationery project. So this is everything that it will be in the stationery pack. Some 3x3 note cards that of course we've stamped and decorated to coordinate. 4 3x3 notepads. Again, a covered 3x3 Post-it pad and a decorated RSVP pin. The box itself is super fast and easy to go together. We'll get to that in just a second. Need a piece of designer series paper. This is cut at 3 by 5 3/8. A belly band that's going to go around the box. And this is cut at 1 3/8 by about 10. Then we need a piece of designer series paper that will go around the Post-it pad. And this is 3 inches plus a little bit more. So not even, a 1/16 of an inch over. Just measure to 3 inches and scooch over just a second because we want it to be just a little bit wider than the 3x3 Post-it pad. The box is made from a piece of Whisper White cardstock cut at 6 1/8 by 8 1/2. Let's score and get the box put together. You can use your stamping trimmer or you can use the Simply Scored scoring tool, whichever one that you like most. I love using the Simply Scored scoring tool for box making. And what we're going to do is along the 6 1/8 inch side, we're going to score 1 1/2 inches from both directions. And so for me, it's easier to do 1 1/2 and then flip it and do 1 1/2 again. Now we'll go ahead and turn it so we have the 8 1/2 inch along the top, and we're going to score at every 1 1/2 inches. So we're going to score at 1 1/2, at 3, and then when we get to 4 1/2, what we want to do is score but stop when we intersect the previous score line. We want to go ahead and turn it to the other direction, not the 6 1/2 side, but the other 8 1/2 side, and do the same thing. 4 1/2 and stop at the fold line or the other score line. So then you get something that's going to look like this when we're all done. We're going to go ahead and cut and remove these long rectangle pieces, and then we're going to cut each of those. Okay, so there's the diagram of what we're going to do, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that off camera. Okay, so I've got everything done except for one cut because I did the same thing on all of those. To make the sides of the box, you just go ahead and cut up to the intersecting fold line. And then you're going to get these 3 tabs on either side of it. And go ahead and keep these little wings that we've trimmed off because these are going to be great for stamping elements that we can use for the embellishments later on. And kind of speaking of that, what's great is the other part of the 8 1/2 by 11 piece of Whisper White that you don't use, you can go ahead and use this for your stamping embellishments too. So it's kind of nice. It uses one sheet of 8 1/2 by 11 for the box and all of your extra stamping that you might need. Next, we're going to take the Trio corner punch, or the punch, and in it, it's got this really awesome corner rounder. So nice and smooth. And before we do any assembly, we want to go ahead and round the corners from the top of the box, as well as the designer series paper that we're going to use to line in between there. So if it's got an orientation, you just want to make sure that you have the paper going in the right direction. And we'll do this. And I'm using products from the First Frost Designer Series Suite from Stampin' Up! In the 2018 holiday catalog. And I'm also going to use multi-purpose glue for all of this. This paper in this Designer Series pack is absolutely gorgeous. It's kind of a winter floral motif. And what's nice is that it doesn't scream holidays, but it does, have a little bit of you know, pine and everything else in there. It's a beautiful, beautiful winter suite of products. Okay, so we've got our backing on, and we do want to put the backing on before we assemble the box. It's just a little easier for that. And then what we want to do is get our bone folder, and we'll get nice crisp edges on everything that we folded, that we scored, I should say. Okay, so how the box is going to go together is we're going to go ahead and put the side that's closest to the backing in first, and then just kind of line up the other ones. And at this point, if you have anything that's a little high or whatever, when we get done gluing, you can go ahead and take that off. Sometimes when we make boxes, we miter the corners just a little bit, but I found in this case, I kind of like the stability and the look of it being nice and solid. Okay, so then what I found would be a nice little trick to tell you guys is with your multi-purpose glue is to don't put glue on this panel, but we're going to put glue on these two panels here. And you could use tear and tape or some other strong adhesive. Again, this one folds in first, and then the middle, and then the outer. And then just kind of give that a press. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. We don't need any on the panel that's closest to the back, but on the other two panels. Fold that one in without the glue first, and then just kind of put them together. And I do have a few little stragglies here that I'm going to trim up just a tad. But actually, I don't even think that you'll see them. So I think I'll leave it go. Okay, so that's the holder. That's all that is. It's really just a matter of decorating it from that point. What I found that I like to do is I just kind of took a belly band to wrap around the box here to decorate it. So it's one continuous band. Now you could so measure that and make individual little panels on each side if you want, but I just found that I like the look of it wrapped. So this is a 1 3/8 inch wide by about 10 designer series paper from the First Frost designer series paper stack. And I'm going to go ahead and I've got a really light touch with my multi-purpose glue. And then I'm also going to put a little on the box itself, making sure I stay away from the outer edges because I don't want any glue to show. And then when I wrap the belly band, I want to start in the middle and in the front because our embellishments will hide the seam that way. And so then just, you know, kind of take your time and press that into place. And that's what's nice about the multi-purpose glue. It gives you a little wiggle room. Okay. And then once you get it all wrapped around, you can kind of take your fingers and press it and finger press the seams. And there's the box. That's all there is to the cute, cute little box. Okay, so then the design, or the envelopes, or not the envelopes, the note cards are made with just taking a piece of 3x6 Whisper White cardstock, and then I layered it with a 2 7/8 piece of the designer series paper. And using the inks of Blackberry Bliss, Mint Macaron, and Powdered Pink, I stamped the images from the First Frost. I used these 3 images and I made 5 sets. 4 of them went on the card front, and then 1 is here in the center that covered this. Also in the die set here, it's got this really awesome label. I die cut that out of Whisper White and did some stamping and put that right up in the corner as well. All right. You can find these RSVP pins at most office supply stores. It's made by Pentel, RSVP, And what I like about these pens, they've been popular to do this for just years, is that you can unscrew it and get to the barrel of it. So with some scrap paper from the Designer Series paper stack that we're using, this is about a 3/4 by 4 inch, and you can use really anything from about a 1/2 inch or so. And then what I like to do is get a paintbrush and kind of break down the fibers of the paper just a little bit. And you don't have to worry about how pretty this looks. It's just a matter of trying to get it in a barrel kind of a shape. We just want to get it so that we can roll this up and put it into the pen. Okay, so again, you can see that that doesn't look very pretty, but that's okay because how the pen kind of looks with its beveled edges, you don't really notice it. So you just kind of put that in and then put back in the ink, refill, and screw it back on, and there you have it. You've got a designed, Designer Series paper within the pen. And because this is nice and tall, this just fits right there. The cap just kind of holds it into place. For the Post-it pad, I don't have a length for you because really, if you wanted to, you can take a Post-it pad, divide it into 2, maybe yours, where you buy it, it's not really a Post-it brand, it might be a little thinner. So really all we need to do, if it is a 3x3, again, I cut it 3x3 and then just a scotch more. So maybe it's like 3 1/32 or something like that. But how you find how to, the length of it is go ahead and start with the front of it, wrap it around your pad, and then kind of give it a little score line here at the bottom. And then that's going to tell me here of where to cut it. So I'm going to take my Stampin' Trimmer and trim. And then to do the Post-it pad, all we do is take our multi-purpose glue. And again, I have a light touch, but I'm going to try to go to the outer edge of it. And then just make sure I've got it flipping in the right direction there. And there's the orientation of the paper. So put it down here at the bottom. And that's why I made it just a tad over. And then we're going to put some glue on the top section of this too. Again, multi-purpose glue gives us enough play and a little wiggle room on it. And there we have just a really pretty little Post-it pad that's covered. Now you could put an embellishment on that too if you wanted to. I found it was getting just a little bulky in our mini set, so I'll bring this in again. Again, I used the coordinating dies, and I don't know if you can see this or not. See how sparkly it is? I also spritzed it with the champagne shimmer paint. So pretty. So again, I made 4 little 3x3 note cards, stamped some coordinating images on the back of it. A little sentiment up on the top. And now someone has something that they can use definitely all winter long. I just think it's a really cute little gift set that you could give anybody, maybe a teacher, coworker, or just make one for yourself and enjoy how cute it looks. And that way you have a little note card to send a thank you or something at any given time. Well, I hope you like my project here for us today. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And you can check out all of the information on my blog at createwithdee.com, and it's at the link below this YouTube video. Thanks for watching, everybody, and happy crafting. Bye-bye.